This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Time to catch up with Niko Pajarillo from KO. We've had a chat to Niko in the past. He's a good fella. Niko, good morning.
Morning.
Team, thanks for having me. It's so good to be on the show, as usual.
Hey, Niko, you've been right into the World Club Cup at the moment. I've been watching a lot of the stuff on Fox Sports in particular, and I've loved the crowds that are getting along.
We wanted the Auckland team to get up against Bayern Munich. That was the fairy tale, Niko, and they didn't. They couldn't do it, and down just a lazy 10-0.
Look, Auckland City, mate, with the 10-0 against Bayern Munich, you know, it was anything else expected. I like that they're going there and having a crack, really. I think they lost yesterday as
6-0,
well.
yeah.
6-0, yeah. It was disappointing to Benfica, it might have been. But what I love about this FIFA Club World Cup, you get teams from everywhere. You're getting teams from, not only the big ones that we know in Europe, like Paris and Bayern Munich and stuff, but you're also getting teams from like the Middle East and Asia, South America. It's actually been unreal. Well received.
Yeah, the teams from the Middle East can't get back home, though. That's the problem at the moment. They might just be out on holiday in the US for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
those games, the crowd attendance. Like, there's games all over the States at the moment, and the crowd attendance in some of them have been so massive.
You know what's interesting about the FIFA Club World Cup as well? A big sort of talking point around it is Lionel Messi's Inter Miami, who are obviously taking part as well. So I was in Miami for UFC not too long ago, and I actually went, I trekked it all the way to Fort Lauderdale, which is like totally out of the way. I didn't know. I thought I was going to get mugged a few times on that journey. But I managed to watch Lionel, like the man himself, Messi, play in the flesh, and I'm like, that is something that I'll take with me. I'll be able to tell my grandkids I was able to do. I feel like that's sort of the vibe around this tournament. A lot of people are saying, you know what, we get to see Messi travel and play all across the country, which he does in the MLS anyway. But I think it's certainly upped the profile of this tournament, and it's remarkable to see as well, just his involvement and the involvement of all the teams around there.
It certainly bodes well for the next World Cup, which is going to be held in the States too, doesn't it? That the crowds are getting behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, it's like the big Latino community as well over there, right? That they get into it. I reckon. So I was in that stadium in Miami. I reckon at least 60-70% of the people that I spoke to, Argentinians.
Yeah, right.
Because
they just want to go and see Messi play.
They just want to go see their hero play. And the World Cup next year will be good. It'll be across the US as well and Mexico.
Yeah.
So that should be a lot of fun.
It's going to go off.
Yeah, it certainly should be. UFC 317 this weekend, 317. Give us a rundown.
Right, it's going to be big, right? So you've got in one corner Ilia Topuria, El Matador, cue flamenco guitar.
Yes.
Ross.
So this is the bloke that knocked Volk out last year.
Yeah, right.
And he's moving up to fight. He's moving up weight divisions. He's trying to claim a second UFC title in another division against the former champ, a Brazilian bloke named Charles Oliveira.
Yes.
So these blokes, I think they've got something like 45 finishes in between them. It's going to be fireworks. I spoke to your man Volk yesterday.
Yes.
And he was saying that, mate, I don't see this getting out of the first round. I expect fireworks from the get-go. There's also Volk's teammate, Kai Kara France, a Kiwi bloke who's fighting in the co-main also for a belt. So huge event this Sunday on Main Event.
Oh, we haven't spoken to you since Jack Della Maddalena scored the victory.
Perth,
of course, being a WA guy. We're flying the flag in a big way there. Fair effort too.
Oh, incredible. And a lot of people counted him out because, they were saying he hasn't been tested against like a really high-level wrestler like Bilal Muhammad. But what I love so much about Jack, and you guys that know, speaking to him so frequently, he's just so unassuming. Like, he just goes about his business. There's no bravado about him at all. He doesn't talk out of turn. He's like, yeah, look, it should be a good fight. See what happens. And then he just starches bloke. It's unbelievable. And to have two Aussie champions now with a prospect of a third from the Oceania region coming this Sunday, just great for the sport, and particularly in WA. You guys are flying over there with your fighters.
Yeah, we definitely are. Hey, Niko, on this, the UFC, it's huge, right? So you go to any licensed venue when there's a UFC on, it is pumping, right? What attracts, and it's not for everyone, clearly, but what attracted you with the UFC? You're very passionate about it.
Well, I started out like many combat sports fans as a boxing fan. Like, you can't really grow up Filipino and not be a boxing fan, right? You know, with the great
Manny Pacquiao.
Of course. Who's in action in a few weeks' time here on Main Event.
Which is extraordinary.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, what is he doing?
Fighting?
Look, the senatorship didn't work out for him the second time around, but you know, it's great to see him back in the ring. You know, he ran for president as well.
Yeah. How old is he now? He's 50 or something, isn't he? What's he doing?
I think regardless of age, Manny Pacquiao is a guy that you tune in to see. Like, who's not going to watch this fight? Who's not going to tune in to see a legend of the game go around once again? I mean, we all wanted that Floyd Mayweather rematch. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But, mate, I saw the face-off between Manny and that bloke Barrios who he's fighting. And, mate, he looks so young, so much bigger, but it's like he could do it. You know, it's that hope that I guess encaptures everybody. It's like, you know, Manny could do it. He's really quick. God. So, look, it's
he's
certainly
46,
a lot of
by the
question
way.
marks around it.
46,
yeah. Regardless, I'll be tuning in.
Amazing.
Oh, well, it's going to be great, mate. We look forward to UFC 317 this weekend, of course, and the FIFA Club World Cup still being amazing. So
good.
You can watch it all on KO Sports and Foxtel. Thanks for joining us, Niko.
Love being on the show, guys. Thank you.
Take it easy, mate.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Let's go over to the NBA, actually, and have a look at what happened yesterday, Game 7 of the NBA, and the OKC Thunder won their first title.
Yes.
They've been in the comp since 2012. I think I brought that up yesterday.
It's a good win.
And
Great
they used to be the Seattle Supersonics. They're the second youngest team in NBA history to achieve that mark, because their whole team was built on draft picks.
Yep.
You know, everyone likes to trade and build their teams that way.
It just shows you can win a title doing it that way.
Yeah. Josh Giddey, you mentioned that, Nat, yesterday, and how he would be feeling leading into this.
That's right. So he was traded by them to Chicago Bulls, and he's had a cracking season. He did really well. But, then looking at your former teammates pick up the ring, and you go, oh. But he was very gracious.
He was. And the reason why he was traded at the point in time was because they wanted to win the title and they thought they needed a defence. And that's what their team got known for throughout this year, their defence, and collectively played a great game. That's why Josh found his defence was really poor.
No, but offensively he's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, he's done well for Chicago, and he'll, you know, he's about to sign a $50 million a year contract, so he's doing fine. Yeah,
there's a guy called Chet Holmgren who is an NBA star with OKC, and he's like 7'2" or something like that, and he can play, right?
Yeah.
Skinny as a beanpole. But he was interviewed afterwards, and they asked him about the difference in their team, why are they so good together? And he said it was a collective, but thanks to their team putting the group together. And this is what he had to say about being winners.
Man, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Everybody's a winner until it's inconvenient for them. You know, everybody's a winner when they get to do what they want on the floor. Everybody's a winner when it's going good. You know, when you have to sacrifice for the team, you have to do the right things off the floor to get ready for the games. That's when you find out who the real winners are. And the credit on that goes to Sam Presti. You know, he's put true winners on this team, in this building, and, you know, it really shows.
Yeah.
So they're prepared to do the hard yards off the field.
That was very American.
And it's really true, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in team sport, you understand that. It's not about, you know, the winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, he's so good when everything's going his way.
That's right. It's how you are when things aren't going your way. That's true. As with everything, we like to find the local connection.
For sure.
And this is a Western Australian victory, as it turns out.
Alexander the Great, they're calling him.
Yep.
Alexander Dukas, who is a Geraldton boy.
Gero.
Who was on the roster for OKC. Never saw him play.
But he's got a ring
and now he's got a ring. We bring in our Geraldton specialist, Sam Trousseau.
Hello, the ninth Australian to get themselves an NBA ring.
Yeah.
And he hails from the little town of Geraldton.
Geraldton Buccaneer as well.
He played with the Bucks?
He did. As a youngster, I remember him as a very youngster. I think he's 21, 22 now. So when I was back in town watching, he was only about 10 or 11 and was knocking around the basketball court. His dad used to be a bit of a Gero legend too. And so was always at the basketball arena. Was good. good even at that age, playing up a few grades all the time. And went on his journey, spent a few years in college in the USA, and then picked up in OKC and has got a ring now. So he was part of their G League squad for most of the year and played a lot of their development, but travelled with the main roster for a bit and got some game time, and now has a ring on his finger. It's unbelievable.
It is. So the people who have had championship experience, Andrew Gaze was counted at San Antonio because he was there in 1999.
Yeah.
And he just kind of graced
He was
the
on
floor
the fringes,
for a second.
wasn't he? Yeah.
He's a champion, by the way. We all know that. Paddy Mills, San Antonio again.
Luke
Aaron
Longley,
Baines.
presumably. Yeah.
Yep. Aaron Baines. Andrew Bogut. Yep. Matthew Dellavedova. Kyrie Irving, we're counting him as an Aussie.
Of course we are.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah.
And Jack White at Denver in 2023.
Yeah, right.
Now, we don't know much about Jack. We don't know anything about Alex Dukas.
Yeah, young Alex. So Dukas. So his dad was Duke around town, and he shooting guard, tall. I mean, not in NBA standards, but in the Jordan Bucks, he was big for a guard. Yeah,
he was part of the 2019 Winners SBL Bucks winning team. So I mean, he's got an NBA, but he also had a
just as a
He's
young
on the Boomers squad, like, is he getting
young
a call
fella.
up from the
Yeah, he
Boomers?
has. He's played in when they have like their main guys playing NBA, and they sometimes send their thirds sort of guys for a lot of their qualifications and stuff like that. He gets a run during that. Did some AIS stuff as well. But a few years at St Mary's College, which has got a bit of a link with Australians. That's where Delhi went. That's where a few others have gone. So he was part of that for a few years. They went well in the college tournaments, and now on the big stage. But
got a ring.
Do you know more about WA basketball or Pokemon cards?
No, Pokemon for sure. But because we had
but
Geraldton Bucks,
basketball.
the Geraldton Bucks. That was the Saturday night every second week when it came to town. It was
it was inside and out of the wind, you know.
That's right.
You got to make the most of the
100%.
opportunity.
The whole town, all of us gathered in that big shed at his annual meeting. Yeah.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.